राजप्रियम् धर्म संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय
सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
आदरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्।
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्।
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथि मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
हरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
व्रजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
जय श्री कृष्ण। कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते संगोऽस्त्वकर्मणि। Meaning of the shloka: our right is only to perform our action, not the result. Today, on this sacred occasion of Independence Day, our best deed is loyalty, duty, and service to the nation. Today, 15th August, 18th Independence Day, which is infusing new energy, pride, and patriotism in all of us. Bowing at the feet of Lord Shri Hari Krishna and remembering the presence of Param Pujya Swami Shri Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, on behalf of Geeta family, I heartily welcome and salute all the Krishna-loving Geeta seekers who have come across this divine discussion chapter of 18th, Decode the Secret of True Happiness. Let us come together again to maintain the unity and integrity of the country on this special 18th Independence Day. We will start with the session with the prayer. As we all know, prayer works wonders and brings positivity. For prayer to invite, we will invite our Meenakshi Sudhir Nayak Didi. She is from Jabalpur. She is housewife. Her passion is singing. She is giving seva of co-trainer in L1 and L2, and as a tech, she is giving seva from L1 to L4. So Didi, please welcome for the prayer. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया। जय श्री कृष्ण सभी को। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you, Didi, for such a wonderful and melodious prayer. The next is Deep Prajalan. To light the lamp of knowledge and wisdom, we would like to invite K. Nagmani Didi. She is from Andhra Pradesh district. She has done BA, joined Geeta Pariwar in 2024. And she is giving GC Seva in L1 and L2. She has completed all 4 levels as Sadhak, and she has cleared Jignasu and Pathik exam. So Didi, we welcome you for Deep Prajalan. Jai Shri Krishna Didi.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो सुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासाम् वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Didi. This deep prajalan has purified our Zoom session. Before we move on to the main session, there is one announcement. Geeta Pariwar 50th batch, the golden batch, which is starting from 16th of October. So we request all of you to register your relative, friends and family members. So this is the golden batch, which is starting on 16th of October, the 50th batch. So now we move on to the main session. Interpretation of the 18th chapter. Decode the secret of true happiness. For this session, we would like to invite our respected Geeta Vrati Vikas ji Vaidya Bhaiya. Bhaiya ji has done post-graduation diploma in business management. Bhaiya is NRI for 12 years, have traveled almost all the world, having owned its IT company in Pune. Bhaiya has special Krishna Kripa as he knows 6 languages: Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian and Spanish. Bhaiya recite all 18 adhyayas of Gita every day since last 5 years in his house. Bhaiya is giving trainer seva in Geeta Pariwar from L1 to L4 and involved in trainer selections and training from L1 to L4. Have given Geeta Kanthastha exam at Shringari Peeth, received first prize from the hands of Param Pujniya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Acharya. So words will fall short in Bhaiya's praise. For me today, it's a Krishna Kripa and privilege to introduce Bhaiya ji. So Bhaiya, you are welcome. The floor is yours. Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna Dinesh Bhaiya, thank you so much. A warm welcome to all the sadhak who have come here despite 15th August holiday. Many people will be traveling outside, enjoying some picnics, but you have come here, so let us start the session. Last time we had discussed up to slok number 39. Yadagre chanubande cha sukham mohanamatmanah nidralasya pramadottam tattamasamudaratam. It was explaining the tamasi sukh, happiness that deludes the self both in the beginning and in the end, and it arises from sleep, laziness and negligence, is tamasi sukh. It is ignorant and harmful. With this sloka, we completed the discussions on 3 types of buddhi, 3 types of dhruti, 3 types of karta, 3 types of karma, and 3 types of sukha, happiness. Continuing this discussion further, slok number 40. न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्त्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तैः यदेवि त्रिभिर्गुणैः. Tat means that. No means not. Asti. Asti meant to exist. Prithivya, on the earth. Divi. Divi is heaven. Deveshu, among gods, demigods. Sattvam, being. Sattvam here, it means existence. Prakriti Jai, born out of nature, born out of Prakriti. Muktam, free. Tribhi gunai, 3 qualities. Bhagavan says, there is no being in the world. Nadadasti pratimama. There is no being in the world, on the earth, or even in the heaven. Nadadasti pratimama dive deveshu, who is free from influence of these 3 gunas. three gunas of nature, Sattva, Raja, and Tama. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan presents a universal truth for all of us. Everything in the existence is influenced by three gunas of Prakriti. Sattva, that is purity and harmony. Rajas, that is activity and desire, kamana. And tamas, that is inertia and ignorance. These three qualities arise from Prakriti, nature, which governs all the material existence in the universe. So Shri Krishna emphasizes that no one, whether human, divine, or any other form of life, is completely free from these three gunas. Everybody has three gunas. Even the gods in the heavens, they are also subject to these three gunas. This highlights the fundamental principle that as long as one exists within the material world, one operates under the laws of Prakriti, under the laws of nature. The gunas determine our behavior, our thoughts, our tendencies, and even our spiritual inclinations. For example, a person dominated by Sattva guna, he tends to be calm, wise, and compassionate. A Rajasic person is driven by ambition and action, while a Tamasic person may experience laziness, confusion, or ignorance. So this shloka teaches humility and awareness to us. Often people think that they are acting independently. मैं सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ, I am doing independently. But Shri Krishna explains that actions are largely influenced by these three natural qualities, Sattva, Raja, Tamo. Recognizing this helps in understanding ourselves and others also, reducing judgment and reducing our ego. However, the purpose of this teaching is not to make one feel bound, but to inspire transcendence, to cross over these three gunas. By cultivating awareness, discipline, and spiritual practice, one can gradually rise above the influence of these three gunas. That is the objective of our learning Bhagavad-Gītā, that we should cross over these three gunas, because all three gunas put us under bondage. Even Sattva guna puts us under bondage. We learn this from 14th Adhyaya, Gunatraya Vibhaga. So we have to cross over these three gunas and realize one's true self, which is beyond nature, which is beyond the bondage of these three gunas of Prakriti. So thus this shloka lays the philosophical foundation for the next teachings which will follow, where Shri Krishna Bhagavan will explain how different roles and duties arise from these three gunas. So every embodiment is influenced by Sat, Raj, and Tama. His wise gardener was there. He explained that every garden has flowers, Sattva, weeds, Raja, and dry leaves, Tama. The difference lies in what you water. If you water the flowers, flower will flourish. If you are watering weeds, weeds will flourish, isn't it? Likewise, every person possesses all these three gunas. The one who we nourish becomes dominant. If we nourish Sattva, Sattva becomes dominant. So spiritual growth means consciously increasing Sattva. With this, we start with discussions on new chapter. New chapter in the sense, new topic of this adhyaya. Shlok number 41. Brahmana kshatriya visham शूद्राणां च परन्तप कर्माणि प्रविभक्तानि स्वभाव प्रभवेर्गुणैः. Brahman is the priest, the teacher. Kshatriya, the warrior class, the ruler class. Visham, the Vaishyas, who are generally traders. Shudranam, the service class. Karmani, duties, their actions. Pravibhaktani, divided. Swabhav, inherent nature. Prabhavi, arising from Gunai, qualities. Shri Bhagavan now says the duties of Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. 4 components of the society are divided according to their nature, Swabhav, which arises from 3 gunas. Swabhava Prabhava Gunai. Nowhere Gita says it is based on your Janma. Does it say Janma? So Janma has nothing to do with your whether you are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. It is your karma and your guna that decide whether you are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We will discuss this in detail a little later. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna explains the origin of 4 Varnas, social order, which we call. Importantly, he clarifies that these divisions are not based on birth, but on Swabhav, one's natural tendencies, which are shaped by these 3 modes of Prakriti, Sat, Rajatam. Each individual has a unique combination of Sattva, Raja, and Tam. This combination determines their inclinations, their strengths, and their suitable duties which they perform. For example, someone with a predominance of Sattva may naturally be inclined towards knowledge and teaching, while someone with strong Rajas may be suited for leadership or for action-oriented roles in the society. Shri Krishna's teaching here is often misunderstood by many, and they blame Gita for dividing the society. But without understanding, they pass on such rubbish comments. It is not a rigid card system, but a functional and psychological classification based on harmony in the society. This is to maintain harmony in the society. Each role is essential and valuable. Nowhere it is said Brahmani, Kshatriya, and they are in that order. All contribute to the overall balance of the society. This shloka encourages individuals like us to understand our true nature and perform duties aligned with our swabhav. When a person works according to his natural disposition, he experiences fulfillment and efficiency. Of course, स्वभाव अच्छा है. You want to teach, you want to learn, okay. Sattvic, you can be called as Brahmin. You want to show your bravery, okay, Kshatriya suits you more. On the other hand, acting against one's nature leads to frustration and imbalance. Parents force their children to go in for a specific routine when their inner tendencies are showing something else. Everybody cannot become doctor or engineer. If the child is having tendency to become, say, event manager, then that is a different class altogether. So in modern times, this teaching can be seen as a guidance for choosing careers and responsibilities based on one's talents and personality, rather than external pressure or society expectations. Shri Krishna also emphasizes equality. Though duties differ, all roles are equally important in the divine order. The focus is not on superiority or inferiority, but on the harmony and cooperation between all. So society functions best when people work according to their nature and their abilities. A hospital functions because of doctors, nurses, technicians, cleaners, pharmacists, security guards, and administrators. All. No one's role is superior or inferior. If even one group stops working, patient care suffers. Every contribution is valuable. So society flourishes when each person sincerely performs the role suited to his abilities. Which country doesn't have these 4 divisions in the society? Every country has. America, the biggest, most strong country, you call it, though it is not so strong now. They have military, that is Kshatriya. They have services for their churches, teaching Bible and all, that is Brahman. They have traders, farmers, they are Vaishya. And they have service class, they are Shudras. So every country, whether it is Christian or Islamic country, every country without exception has these 4 divisions of society. We are being blamed for no reason to create a division in the society. We are saying the same what other countries are following. They are following Gita's rule, but necessarily blaming Gita for division in the society. Shri Krishna has again and again emphasized equanimity in Bhagavad Gita. So why he will create some differentiation between these 4 varnas of society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya? Everybody is equal. Now, what are the natural duties of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra? Next shloka. Shamodamastapashaucham kshantirarjavamev cha jnanam vijnanamastikam brahma karma svabhavajam. Shama is calmness, peace of mind. Dama is self-control, indriya nigraha. Tapa is austerity. Shaucham is purity. Kshanti is forgiveness. Arjavam, honesty. Jnanam, knowledge. Vijnanam, the realization of knowledge is Vijnana. You study Bhagavad-Gītā, that is Jnana you are getting, but when you are implementing the message of Bhagavad-Gītā in your day-to-day behavior after understanding Gita shlokas, that is Vijnana. Implementation of Jnana in actual practice is Vijnana. Astikyam is the faith. Sacred Mama says, the natural duties of Brahmin include tranquility, Shama, self-control, Dhamma, austerity, Tapa, purity, forgiveness, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and faith. So this shloka describes the qualities and duties of Brahmin, defined not by birth, nowhere birth, but by his inner nature. A Brahmin is one who is inclined towards knowledge, towards spirituality, and higher truth. If he is asked to study Gita, get up at 4 o'clock every day morning, he will do it without complaint. You tell the same thing to a Kshatriya person or to a Vaishya person, he will say, I have many things to do. But this fellow, he will, without any hesitation, will get up at 4 o'clock every day to do his spiritual sadhana. So it has to be in your nature. Shri Krishna is listing several essential qualities of Brahmins. Shama is calmness, control over mind, leading to inner peace. Dhamma, self-control, discipline over our indriya, nigra, senses. Tapas, austerity, willingness to undergo discipline for the spiritual growth. Shaucha, cleanliness, both external and internal. Kshanti, forgiveness, patience, and tolerance. Arjava, that is honesty, straightforwardness, and sincerity is arjavam. And Jnana, of course, understanding of scriptures. And philosophy is Jnana. Vijnana, as we discussed, practical realization of that knowledge is Vijnana. And Astikya, trust in higher truth and divine principles is Astikya. So these qualities reflect a life dedicated to self-mastery and spiritual pursuit. A Brahmin's role is guided, his role is to guide the society through wisdom, through teaching, and by setting up moral example. Shri Krishna emphasizes that these qualities arise naturally from one's inner nature, his past sanskars, his true nature. A true Brahmin does not artificially adopt these traits, but expresses them effortlessly. He doesn't have to put an alarm also to get up early in the morning. His body sounds the alarm for him. Get up now. It's a time for sadhana. Due to a predominance of sattva in him. In a broader sense, this shloka teaches that spiritual growth requires cultivating these qualities which Brahmins have been explained in this shloka, regardless of one's profession or his social role. Anyone can develop calmness, discipline, honesty, and wisdom, irrespective of whether he is born in Brahmin family, Shudra family, Vaishya family, or any other family. Importance is given to these gunas, not where you are born. A boy born in Brahmin family, the day he joins army, he becomes Kshatriya. He is no longer a Brahmin. Because if he maintains Brahmin quality of non-violence, then what will happen? He will go to the border and say, I will not fight. I will not kill the enemy. Why you come here then? You want to get killed and you want to get others also killed with you? Then don't come to army. So the day he joins, he is no longer a Brahmin or Vaishya or Shudra. He has become Kshatriya necessarily. So this shloka is not limited to a specific group, but serves as a universal guide for personal and spiritual development of all. Serenity, self-control, purity, forgiveness, wisdom, and faith are the traits of Brahmin. An elderly professor was known not only for his knowledge, but also for humility, Namrata. Students often ask the same questions repeatedly. He never became irritated. In Gita Pariwar, we face this. The participants ask same questions again and again to the trainers. Trainers, without any hesitation or without getting angry, they keep replying, Shama. So he listened patiently, answered kindly, admitted that he did not know something, and encourages everyone to keep learning. When he retired, a student asked him. He said to him, Sir, we learned mathematics from you, but more importantly, we learned how a wise person lives. The professor smiled and replied, knowledge becomes sacred only when it comes, it softens your heart. So a true Brahmin is identified not by birth, by qualities such as calmness, self-control, purity, compassion, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to the truth. Now, these two slokas, let us have one story, small story. We have learned in 41 sloka that people have different natural qualities and tendencies. Their swabhav are different, and their duties arise from these inherent qualities. Okay, understood. And this sloka, 42nd, it describes the qualities of Brahmin: serenity, self-control, austerity, all that, purity, patience, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, all this. Dr. Mehta was a highly respected professor at a leading university. Many of his former students had become successful business leaders, politicians, and scientists. Several corporations offered him lucrative consulting positions that would have multiplied his income many times. However, Dr. Mehta felt that his true calling was not accumulating wealth or power. He found joy in studying, teaching, mentoring young minds, and helping people discover wisdom. Every morning he spent time reading scriptures, reflecting on life, and preparing lessons for his students. One day, a large company offered him a prestigious executive role with a fat, huge salary. His colleagues encouraged him to accept that offer. After careful thought, he politely declined the offer. A student asked him, "Sir, why do you reject such an opportunity?" Dr. Mehta replied, "Every person must understand his natural inclination. Some are gifted at leading organizations, some at protecting the society, some at creating wealth, and some at seeking and sharing knowledge. I belong to the last category. My greatest happiness comes from learning and teaching. If I abandon that merely for money, I would be untrue to my own nature. I will be doing something which is against my own nature." Throughout his life, Dr. Mehta remained calm during difficulties, treated everyone with respect, spoke truthfully, and continued to pursue knowledge. His students admired not only his intelligence, but also his character. Years later, many of his students said that the most valuable lesson they learned from Dr. Mehta was not found in textbooks. It was the lesson that success comes from faithfully living according to one's higher nature and cultivating the inner values. So Dr. Mehta exemplifies qualities which are described in this sloka. Shama, tranquility. He remained calm and balanced. Dhamma, self-control, not being driven by greed. Tapa, discipline, dedication to study and self-improvement. Shaucham, purity, integrity in thought and integrity in action. Kshanti, forbearance, patience with students and challenges. Arjavam, honesty and sincerity. And Jnanam, and with Jnanam, deep understanding and practical application of that understanding. And ultimately, faith, trust in higher values and truths. So this small anecdote illustrates the Gita's teachings is not about birth when you decide about Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra or social status, but about living according to one's natural qualities. Now, Dr. Mehta may have been born in Shudra family or Vaishya family, but he is a Brahmin. Next loka. Now, what are the natural tendencies, duties of Kshatriya? Shauryantejo dhritirdakshin yuddhechapyapalayanam dhanamishvaravavasya kshatram karma svabhavajam. Shaurya means bravery. Teja, teja is vigor, power. Dhriti, firmness. Determination is dhriti. Daksham, skill, efficiency is daksham. Yuddhe, in the battle. Apalayanam, not running away. Dhanam, charity. Ishvara bhava, Ishvara is leader here. Leader, lordship. Kshatram karma, duties of a warrior. Krishna Bhagavan says, the natural duties of a Kshatriya include shaurya, bravery, strength, determination, skill not to run away from battle, generosity, and leadership. So this shloka, Sri Krishna Bhagavan outlines the qualities and duties of Kshatriya class, the protector and administrator of the society. As with previous descriptions, these qualities are determined by swabhav, not by birth. As I said, a person born in Brahman family will become Kshatriya the day he joins army. So this is determined by the swabhav, shaped by our gunas, primarily rajas combined with sattva, the Kshatriya. Predominantly he is rajas, but he has also a good amount of sattva in him. The first quality mentioned is shauryam, bravery. A Kshatriya must possess courage to face challenges and danger without fear. This courage is not purely physical courage, but also moral courage, the strength to stand for justice and righteousness even when it is difficult. Next is Tejas. Tejas is vigor, power, radiance, which reflects an energetic and dynamic personality. A Kshatriya is not passive but active, full of initiative and full of enthusiasm. This energy is necessary for leadership and protection, isn't it? Then Dhriti, determination, indicates perseverance. A true leader does not give up easily, even in adverse circumstances. This quality ensures stability and consistency in governance and in decision making. Daksha, the skill and or efficiency, it highlights competence. Leadership requires not only courage but also intelligence and practical ability. A Kshatriya must be capable of organizing, strategizing, and executing plans effectively, for which he needs daksha, that means skill and efficiency. Shri Krishna then mentions Yuddhe Chappapalayanam, not fleeing from the battlefield. This symbolizes steadfastness in the duty. A Kshatriya must not abandon responsibility out of fear or out of discomfort. In a broader sense, this applies to facing challenges, struggles with resilience. Dan, charity, is another essential trait of Kshatriya. Despite power and authority, a Kshatriya should be generous and compassionate, using the resources for the welfare of the society. Finally, Ishwar Bhav. Ishwar Bhav is Lord, leadership or the sense of responsibility, like God has. It reflects the ability to govern and guide others. It is not about domination, but about stewardship. Taking responsibility for the well-being of people is this Ishwar Bhav. In today's time, the qualities of Kshatriya can be seen in our leaders, our administrators, our soldiers, and even individuals who stand up for the justice in everyday life. Anyone who protects others, upholds truth, and takes responsibility embodies Kshatriya qualities in him. Shri Krishna's teaching reminds us that leadership is not about privilege, but duty. True power lies in courage, discipline, and service. These qualities are essential not only for the rulers, but for anyone who seeks to contribute positively to the society. Now, what are the qualities of Vaishya and Shudra? Krishi Gaurakshama Anijam Vaishya Karma Svabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasya Svabhavajam. Krishi is agriculture. Gauraksha is protection of cows. Vaణिज्य, trade, business. Vaishya karma, duties of Vaishyas. Paricharya is to offer service. Shudrasya of Shudras, Svabhavajam, arising from their nature. So the duties of Vaishyas include agriculture, cow protection, and trade, while the duties of Shudras is service to others. In this shloka, Shri Bhagavan describes the role of Vaishyas and Shudras, again emphasizing that these duties arise from one's natural tendencies, not based on birth. The duties of a Vaishya include agriculture, Krishi, and cow protection, Gauraksha, and trade, Vaణिज्यam. These activities are essential for the economic stability and prosperity of the society, isn't it? All businessmen are Vaishya. By this definition, they are creating wealth. Agriculture also represents foundation of sustenance. It requires patience. It's not a easy task, agriculture. Hard work and connection with the nature. Crop protection, in the traditional context, it symbolizes care for resources and sustainable living. Trade involves exchange, entrepreneurship, and wealth creation. These are Vishas. So Visha's nature is typically influenced by Rajas, which drives activity and productivity, combined with practical mindset. Their role is to generate wealth and to ensure material well-being, not just for themselves, but for the society or the country as a whole. Shri Krishna described the duty of Shudras as paricharya, that means service. This is often misunderstood. Service here does not imply inferiority. Rather, it signifies support and contribution. Every society requires individuals who assist, who maintain the system, and who ensure smooth functioning. In a company, a maintenance engineer, if he is not there, will the machines run smoothly? Somebody has to offer the service, no? That does not make him inferior or superior. Service is a noble quality. It requires humility, dedication, and cooperation. Without service-oriented roles, even the most advanced systems will collapse in no time. Imagine if the cleaning services people, if you call them Shudras, they stop working in the whole country. What will happen? Can you imagine? In the service class in hospitals stop working. What will happen? In industry, they stop working. What will happen? Everybody's karma, his duty is necessary for smooth running of the society and the country. So Krishna's teaching again emphasizes interdependence. Nobody is superior or inferior. Each is necessary. Just as the body requires different parts, different organs performing different functions, hands will do work, legs will walk, tongue will speak and eat, ears will hear. All organs are doing different activities, no? Society needs diverse roles working together harmoniously for society to run smoothly. In modern times, Vaishya's qualities can be seen in entrepreneurs. All Tata, Birlas, Ambanis are Vaishyas by their profession. Business professionals and farmers. While Shudra's qualities can be found in service providers, technicians, and support staff. All these roles are essential for functioning of the society. A deeper message of this shloka is to respect all forms of work. Dignity lies not in the type of work, but in the sincerity and dedication in which it is performed. Shri Bhagavan himself lived all these four roles, Paraman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Lord Krishna is regarded as the complete incarnation, Purna Avatar of the divine. Through his life, he demonstrated that world is determined by qualities, guna, and actions, karma, not merely by birth. At different stages of life, Shri Krishna performed the duties associated with all four varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Duties of a Brahmin, knowledge, teaching, and spiritual guidance, which he is. His teaching is Geeta, no? So he is Brahmin. The primary duty of Brahmin is to impart knowledge, teach dharma, and guide people towards truth. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Shri Krishna delivered the teachings of Bhagavad-Gītā to Arjuna and to all of us, dispelling his confusion and despair. He explained profound spiritual principles such as what is karma, what is yoga, what is karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, all that. That is all knowledge sharing. No? He guided kings, sages, and devotees on the matters of righteousness and spiritual wisdom. In this way, Shri Krishna fulfilled the role of a Brahmin, ideal Brahmin. Then he performed duties of a Kshatriya also, protection and upholding the Dharma. The duty of Kshatriya is what? To protect society, defend righteousness, and oppose injustice. Shri Krishna destroyed tyrants and evil forces such as Kamsa, Narkasur, Chanor, Mushtika, isn't it? That is Kshatriya work, no? He stood firmly by Dharma during Mahabharata and supported Pandavas in their righteous cause, Kshatriya. He protected the weak and confronted oppression, Kshatriya. As the leader of Dwarka, he carried out responsibilities as the king of Dwarka associated with governance and protection, Kshatriya. The Shri Krishna performed duties of the Kshatriya also. Then Vaishya, we know his childhood, cattle rearing and economic welfare. farming. The traditional duties of Vaishya include agriculture, cattle rearing, trade, supporting society's economic well-being. Shri Krishna spent his childhood in Gokul and Vrindavan as a cow herd, isn't it? He tended and protected cows. Vaishya. He emphasized the importance of cow protection and rural prosperity. Vaishya. His life among the cowherds highlighted the dignity and value of productive economic activity. Vaishya. Therefore, Krishna also exemplified the duties of a Vaishya. Now remaining a Shudra. Duties of Shudra is what? Service and humility. The primary duty of Shudra is service. During Rajasuya sacrifice, Rajasuya Yajna, Shri Krishna personally washed the feet of honored guests. He considered service to others as noble duty. In Mahabharata war, he chose not to wield weapons but became Arjuna's charioteer. Sarathi. Provided service, no? तो क्या इंफीरियर हो गए क्या फिर? Serving as a charioteer was an act of humble service, which he performed willingly and lovingly. Although he was Supreme Lord, he never considered service beneath his dignity. मैं तो भगवान हूँ, मैं service कैसे दूँ? So the central message is, Shri Krishna's life teaches all of us that no work is inherently low or high. Teaching wisdom, protecting society, creating prosperity, and serving others are all the essential functions for the welfare of the humanity. In Gita, Bhagavan has already said, Chaturvarnam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasha. In fourth Adhyaya also, Bhagavan has said this. The fourfold social order was created by me, he says in fourth Adhyaya, according to guna karma vibhagasha, according to the division of qualities and actions. This means that the Varna system is fundamentally based on qualities and conduct, not merely on birth. By performing the duties of all four Varnas, Krishna demonstrated the ideal of a complete human being. He did not only talk, he walked the talk himself. One who teaches wisdom like Brahmin, protects righteousness like Kshatriya, contributes to prosperity like Vaishya, and serves with humility like Shudra. This remains one of the most profound and timeless lessons from Shri Krishna's life. Consider a housewife today, performing household duties. She also performs all these four tasks. She cooks for the entire family, service. She teaches, take lessons of her kids, help them in their homework, Brahman. She goes for shopping, negotiates with the traders, Vaishya. And when somebody says some bad thing about her daughter in the marketplace, she becomes Kshatriya, takes Rudravatar, starts fighting. So this Kshatriya. So every individual performs all these four roles. When we perform our designated roles, we can attain Paramatma. Sounds a little magical, but it is true. Next shloka. Sve sve karmanya bhirata samsvedya labate naraha. Swakarma dirda siddhan yatha vindati dachunu. God says, a person attains perfection by being devoted to their own natural duties. He attains perfection by performing his own natural duties. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Now God says, Shruno me, Mishra Sunavi. Here how one can achieve protection through such work. Svesme means one's own. Karmani, his duties, his action, his karmas. Abhirataha, engaged or devoted to. Sounds with them, perfection. Labate, to attain. Nara, the person. Swakarmandirataha, devoted to one's own duty. Said them, success or perfection. So this shloka is a key teaching of Bhagavad Gita. सबको अपना कर्तव्य कर्म करना चाहिए. You attain the siddhi. Where Shri Krishna explains that perfection, samsiddhi, is achieved not by abandoning one's duties, but by performing them with dedication and sincerity. Every individual has unique nature, swabhav, and corresponding duties, swakarma, swabhav and swakarma. When a person engages fully in their natural work, he experiences growth, fulfillment, and ultimately spiritual realization. Shri Krishna emphasizes Avirada, deep engagement. It is not enough for us to merely perform duties mechanically. One must be fully involved in what is performing with interest and with commitment. Such engagement, it transforms ordinary work onto a path of self-development. This teaching challenges the idea that the spiritual progress requires renouncing worldly responsibilities. God says wrong. Krishna says how work itself can become a means to liberation when performed with the right attitude. He never says you give up your family and your samsara. Keep performing your duty with this. You will attain liberation. You will attain moksha. The key lies in aligning one's actions with one's nature. When a person follows his true calling, his work becomes effortless and meaningful. This leads to excellence and inner satisfaction. Moreover, when the work is performed selflessly, nishkam karma, without attachment to the results, it purifies the mind. This purification prepares the individual for higher knowledge and spiritual realization. Shri Krishna also prepares Arjuna for the next teaching by saying, here, Shrunome, how one can attain perfection through performing his kartavya karma, his work. This indicates that the path of karma yoga, selfless action, is a powerful means to achieve the highest goal, moksha, liberation. In modern times, this slok is very relevant. Many people struggle with dissatisfaction because they are disconnected from their natural inclinations. Natural inclination है और जॉब में बदले दूसरे कर रहे. Shri Krishna's teaching encourages self-awareness and authenticity. Whether one is a teacher, leader, business person, or service provider, the path to success and fulfillment lies in wholehearted dedication to one's this designated role. Ultimately, this shloka teaches that no work is insignificant. When performed with sincerity, with discipline, and with right attitude, every action becomes a step towards perfection and self-realization. जो कर रहे हैं, do it with full sincerity and full dedication, with nishkam bhav, you will attain moksha. That is the great teaching of this shloka. Next, यदा प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं स्वकर्मणात्मभ्यर्च्य सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः. By worshipping the Supreme Being, who is the source of all creations and pervades everything, through one's own duties, a person attains perfection. In this profound shloka, Shri Krishna elevates the concept of work, karma, to the level of worship. He proves how work can become worship. He declares that the supreme reality, the source from which all beings arise and by which the entire universe is sustained, can be worshipped through the sincere performance of one's own duties. Shri Krishna describes the divine as both origin, pravritti, and the all-pervading presence, tatam, in the universe. This means that God is not separate from the world. Rather, he exists within and throughout the creation. He creates and he remains in the world. He occupies, he pervades the entire world, which he creates. Every action, every object, and every being is connected by his divine presence. The key teaching of this shloka here is Swakarma Tvabhyarcha. Archan, you know, is puja, worship. So worship him through your work. Worship him through your work. Swakarma Tvabhyarcha. This transforms the way we work or we look at our daily life. Work is no longer merely a means of survival or for success. It becomes a sacred offering to Lord. When a person performs his duties with sincerity, with dedication, and with the spirit of devotion, his action becomes a form of puja, worship. This does not require elaborate rituals. No karma kanda is required for this. Or renunciation, sannyasi बनना भी जरूरत नहीं है. Instead, it requires a shift in attitude from ego-driven karma to God-centered karma. For example, a teacher can view teaching as a service to the divine present in the students. A doctor can see healing as service to the God in patients. A business person can conduct trade ethically as an offering to the divine order. All will attain moksha if they perform duties like this. So Shri Krishna emphasizes that such an approach leads to siddhi, perfection. This perfection is not merely external success, but inner fulfillment and spiritual realization. When work is performed as worship, जब वर्क पूजा हो जाती है, कर्म पूजा हो जाती है, it purifies the mind, it reduces the ego, and brings one closer to the realization of the divine. This shloka beautifully integrates spirituality with daily life. How we can convert daily life, small actions in spiritual sadhana. It shows that there is no need to escape the world to find God. Instead, one can find the divine in the very act of living and working. In essence, Shri Krishna teaches that the highest form of worship is not limited to temples or rituals, but is expressed through sincere, selfless action performed with devotion and awareness of the divine presence. Now, these two shlokas, what we have studied, we should do meditation on these two shlokas. If all of you say, okay, we'll do meditation on this, meditation on shlok 45 and 46. My work can become my worship. God says, Shri Shri Karanavirta Samsiddhillavate Nara Smokarmate Siddha Yatha Vidyate Dachanu. A person devoted by his own duty attains perfection. Now here, from me, how one engaged in one's own work attains perfection. That was 45th sloka. And 46th sloka, Yada Pravati Bhutana Yena Sarvadantatam Svoka Karmanatva Siddhim Vidyate Manava. By worshipping through one's own work, for him, all beings arise from whom all beings arise, and by whom the entire universe is pervaded, a person attains perfection. So these two shlokas. Step 1 for the meditation, prepare the body and mind. Let us take 1.5 minutes for this. Sit comfortably with your back reasonably straight. Close your eyes gently. Take 3 slow natural breaths. Allow the body to relax. Now tell yourself mentally, slowly, for the next few minutes, I will turn my attention inward, contemplate my duty, my work, my relationship with the divine. In the next step, Sve Sve Karma. Shri Krishna says, Sve Sve Karmani Abhirataha. Sve Sve Karma means one's own appropriate duty or work. Bring the mind to your various roles which you are playing in your day-to-day life. As a family member, as a professional or as a retired person, as a parent or grandparent, as a friend, as a member of society, and as a spiritual seeker. Don't judge yourself. Simply ask, what are my responsibilities at this stage of my life? Let the answer arise naturally. In the next step, reflect on Swadharma. Last session we discussed Swadharma. So now contemplate, what is mine to do? Not what is someone else is doing. What is mine to do? Not what will give me the most recognition. Not what will others think of me. But what is the right thing for me to do? This is the essence of Swadharma. Silently repeat to yourself, let me perform my duty sincerely according to my capacity and the circumstances in which I am living. Next step, transform work into worship. Spend 3-4 minutes on this thought. Contemplate the shloka 46. Swakarmanatam Vircha. By one's own work, worship him. This is the central meditation. Imagine your ordinary activities, housewife, cooking maybe, or teaching, working, caring for family, helping someone, managing the household, doing social service, even small responsibilities. Consider all this. Now change your mental attitude. Instead of I am doing this for myself, think I am offering this work to God. So karmana tvam vyarcha. Your work becomes puja when we do with this thought in meditation. Your responsibility becomes seva to God. Your daily activity becomes an offering to the divine. In the next step, spend a couple of minutes on see God as the source. Meditate upon yada pravritir bhutanam, from whom all beings arise, and yena sarva vidantatam, by whom this entire universe is pervaded. Now contemplate the same divine presence that gives me life is present in everyone around me. Your family, your colleagues, your friends, and even people with whom you disagree are all parts of the same divine creation. This thought gradually reduces our ego, superiority, and resentment. In the next step, examine your attitude to the results. Now ask yourself, when I perform my duty, am I more concerned about doing it well or about receiving appreciation? Observe honestly. Perhaps the mind says, I want recognition. Don't condemn yourself. Simply observe. Then say, my responsibility is to perform my work sincerely. The result belongs to God. This is the bridge between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. In the next step, make a personal sankalpa. Choose one responsibility in your life. Bring it to the mind. Then make this inner resolution. Whatever duty comes to me today, I will perform it sincerely, calmly, and without unnecessary ego. And I will regard my work as an offering to the divine. Finally, mentally repeat, my duty is my worship. My work is my offering. My success is God's grace. My effort is in my hands. The result I leave to the God. In the next step, while closing the meditation, take 3 slow breaths. Before opening your eyes, contemplate. I do not need extraordinary circumstances to serve God. My ordinary responsibilities can become my spiritual practice. When performed with sincerity, my Swadharma, it becomes a path to perfection. Then slowly open your eyes. So these 2 shlokas gives us profound transformation. As Pujya Swami says, Gita padhe padhaye jivan mein laye. We need to bring Gita's message in our day-to-day life. And meditation is the best means to bring it in our life. Perform duty, work, offer it as an offering, consider it as the worship to the God, get purified in the process, and attain perfection. Sri Krishna is not asking us to abandon our ordinary family, our ordinary life in order to find God. Keep on living the life the way you are. He is teaching us to transform the way we perform our ordinary life. Do your duty well, offer it to God. See the divine as the source and support of all beings. Then your everyday work itself becomes a spiritual path. We don't have to attain different things for going to spirituality. So online meditation will be whatever work I do today, let me do it as an offering to the divine with sincerity, humility, and without attachment to recognition. This is the practical meditation, what we have done now on these 2 shlokas. Next shloka, 47. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharma svanushtita svahaniyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilvisham. God says it is better to perform one's duty imperfectly than to perform another's duty perfectly. This type of shloka has come in earlier. There also you will remember. Second line is different. Svahanitam karma kurvanna apnoti kilvisham. By doing one's work according to one's nature, one does not incur sin. So this shloka conveys one of the most practical and powerful teaching of Gita. Shri Krishna advises that it is better to follow one's own path, even if imperfectly, than to imitate someone else's path, even if done perfectly. The concept of Swadharma, one's own duty, is central in this shloka. Shriyan Swadharma. Each individual has a unique nature, shaped by his tendencies, his abilities, and his inner inclinations. This nature determines the kind of work that is most suitable for him. When a person performs work aligned with this nature, his internal inner nature, it feels natural and fulfilling. He doesn't have to strive hard for it. Even if a mistake occurs, the process contributes to growth, learning from mistake, and self-understanding. On the other hand, trying to imitate others may lead to external success, but internally it creates conflict, stress, and ultimately dissatisfaction. Shri Krishna warns against comparison and imitation. In today's world, people often measure themselves against others. Choosing careers compares with somebody. Lifestyles make comparison with somebody. Or goals based on social expectations rather than our inner calling. This shloka reminds us that such imitation can lead to imbalance and unhappiness in life. The phrase Swabhava Niyatam Karma highlights that one's duty is determined by his nature. Swabhava, acting in harmony with his nature, ensures authenticity and integrity. Shri Krishna also assures that by performing one's own duty, one does not incur kilbisham, that means sin or negative consequence. This is because such actions are aligned with one's inner truth and natural order. A Kshatriya killing his enemy does not incur sin. He is performing his duty. This teaching encourages self-awareness and acceptance. Instead of striving to be someone else, one should strive to be the best version of oneself. We should keep doing better and better ourselves based on what we have done yesterday. Tomorrow we should do better than what we did yesterday. Growth comes from embracing one's strength and working through one's weakness. In a broader sense, this shloka promotes diversity and harmony. Just as different parts of body perform different functions, individuals in the society contribute in unique ways. If everybody become businessmen, who will protect the country, Kshatriya, who will serve the society, Shudra, who will impart knowledge, Brahman. So all four varnas necessary, all four kartavya karmas by different parts of society are essential. Respecting the diversity leads to balance and cooperation. Ultimately, Shri Krishna teaches that authenticity is more important than perfection. True success lies in living in alignment with one's own nature and performing one's duties with sincerity. A young engineer, he worked in a successful company. One day he attended a friend's musical performance and was deeply impressed because his friend got many clappings during the program. He began thinking, my friend is enjoying the life, getting so much appreciation from the audience, plus money also. He's talented, popular, and appreciated. Why am I sitting in this front of computer and doing some nonsense work? He became dissatisfied with his career. His father asked him, do you really love music? Or do you simply admire your friend's success? That question made him think. He realized that he actually enjoyed solving engineering problems. What attracted him was not music itself, but the recognition his friend received. He continued his engineering career with pursuit of music as a hobby. That you can definitely do. So we often compare our behind the scene life with someone else's highlight reel. Krishna's message is, do not abandon your swadharma merely because someone else's life looks more attractive to you. Likewise, you can discuss many stories. A mother saw another family on social media posting pictures of holidays, expensive restaurants, and celebrations. She began feeling that her own family was unsuccessful. Her husband eventually said, "We do not know what happens inside that family. We are seeing only photos on social media. We only see their photographs." She realized that she had been comparing her real life with someone else's selected moments of life. Do we know their full life? She stopped comparing and started appreciating her own family journey. So your dharma is not determined by somebody else's lifestyle. Next sloka. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham tyajit sarvarambha hi doshena dhumen agririva vrataha. One should not abandon one's natural duty even if it has faults, because all actions are covered by some imperfection, just as fire is covered by smoke. Dhumen agririva vrataha. So in this sloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan addresses a common human tendency, the desire to avoid action due to imperfections or due to difficulties. He advises that one should not abandon his natural duty even if it appears flawed. The term Sahajam Karma refers to actions that arise naturally from one's nature. Such actions may not always be perfect or free from challenges, but they are still the right path for the individual. Shri Krishna acknowledges that all actions must have some degree of imperfection. They have. No work in the material world is entirely pure or flawless. When you try to do it perfectly, it will have some flaw here and there. Even the best efforts may involve limitations, mistakes, and unintended consequences. To illustrate this, Krishna uses a powerful metaphor: fire covered by smoke. Fire represents purity and usefulness, while smoke symbolizes imperfection. Despite the presence of smoke, the fire remains valuable and necessary. अपना काम करती है ना fire, despite smoke being there. Similarly, one's duties may have flaws like smoke, but they should not be abandoned. Avoiding action due to fear of imperfection leads to stagnation and missed opportunities for growth. This teaching is highly relevant in modern life. People often hesitate to pursue their goals because they fear failure or imperfection. Shri Krishna's message is loud and clear. Imperfection is a natural path of action, full stop. And it should not prevent us from fulfilling our responsibilities. This sloka also emphasizes perseverance. By continuing to perform one's duties despite challenges, one develops resilience, one develops skill and wisdom. Over time, these imperfections diminish as one grows. Moreover, abandoning one's duty can lead to greater problems. When individuals neglect their responsibilities, it disrupts not only his own growth, but also the harmony of the society. Shri Krishna's teaching is to encourage acceptance and effort. Instead of seeking perfection before acting, one should act with sincerity and improve through experience. So, in a sense, this shloka teaches that imperfection is not a barrier, but a part of journey. Everybody meets with. By embracing one's duties and performing them with dedication, one moves steadily towards growth and spiritual realization. A young entrepreneur had a brilliant idea for an app. But every time he prepared to launch it, he found another imperfection. The design is not perfect. We need another feature to be added. The website can be improved. The logo is not good enough. In Geeta also we have these discussions when any app is getting developed. A lot of discussion, a lot of comments keep coming. So that fellow, 2 years passed, he was developing the app. A competitor launched a simpler version and he became successful in the meantime. The entrepreneur finally realized, I was waiting for perfection before taking action. So all undertakings have some defects. Should not wait for perfection to happen. If we abandon every activity because it is imperfect, nothing meaningful will ever be accomplished. An elderly parent sometimes feels, I am no longer useful to my children. I cannot do what I used to do. His daughter tells him, you do not have to run the household anymore. Just being there, blessing us, sharing your experience and encouraging the grandchildren is enough, is valuable for us. He understands that his role has changed now. It has not disappeared, it has changed. So Swadharma changes with age and with circumstances. We should realize this. A person's duty at age of 30 may not be the same when he is at the age of 70. The wisdom lies in recognizing this. What is my appropriate duty today? Rather than clinging to that old role. So likewise, many such things can be discussed. So the deep message of these two shlokas, 47 and 48, is these two shlokas answer two very common modern problems. Comparison. His life is better than mine. Shri says, follow your own swadharma, don't compare. Problem 2, perfectionism. My work has problems, so perhaps I should give up. Shri says, every undertaking has imperfections, don't give up. Therefore, don't compare your path with somebody else's path and don't abandon your right path merely because it is not perfect. Your life does not have to look like somebody else's life. And your work does not have to be perfect to be meaningful. Next shloka. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigadas praha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sannyasena adhigacchati. One who is unattached, self-controlled, and free from desires, he attains the highest perfection of freedom from action. That is naishkarmya. Do the karma, but don't get bondage is naishkarmya. So asakta buddhi is unattached mind. Sarvatra, everywhere. Jitatma, who has controlled his mind, jitatma, self-controlled. Vigadaspraha, vigad is to give up. So vigadaspraha, free from desires. Naishkarmya siddhim, perfection of naishkarmya. As I said, do the karma, but don't get bondage is naishkarmya. Paramam, supreme, sannyasena, through renunciation, adhigacchati, he attains. So in this shloka, Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā introduces the concept of naishkarmya siddhi, the state of freedom from being the binding effect of karma. Karma nobody can avoid. We have learned this much in Gita definitely. Nahi kshatte kshanamapi jatu tishtate karma krut. We have learned this in third adhyaya also. We cannot live without performing karma even per second. But how to avoid the bondage that is created by karma? That is naishkarmya siddhi. This does not mean the absence of karma, but rather the absence of attachment to actions and it results that makes your karma as naishkarmya siddhi. So Shri Krishna begins by describing the qualities necessary for attaining this state of naishkarmya. The first is asakta buddhi. Detached intellect is asakta buddhi. This means performing actions without emotional dependence on the outcomes of the actions, results of the action. Such a person, he acts with clarity and with balance of mind, unaffected by success or by failure. The second quality is jitatma, self-mastery. This refers to control over the mind and the senses. A person who has mastered themselves, he is not easily disturbed by external situations. He acts with discipline and with awareness. The third quality is vigataspruha, free from desire, kamanas. Desire is a major cause of attachment and suffering in life. When a person is free from cravings, he experiences inner peace and contentment. It is the kamana that creates anxiety in our mind. If we know how to curb our kamanas, the anxiety will definitely drop. Shri Krishna then states that such a person attains naishkarmya siddhi. the highest perfection. He has learned the skill of performing karma without getting bondaged. This state is characterized by freedom from karmic consequences of action. Normally, actions binds us through the results, creating cycles of cause and effect, and we keep coming to the cycle of birth and death because of those bondages. But when actions are performed without attachment, they do not create such bondage. The rule of sannyasa, that is renunciation, is also highlighted in this shloka. Here, renunciation does not necessarily mean giving up the worldly life. Instead, it means renouncing attachment, renouncing ego, and renouncing kamana, desire. It is an inner transformation rather than an external withdrawal. So, this teaching is central to the philosophy of karma yoga. It shows that liberation is not achieved by avoiding karma, but by purifying the intention behind every action. In modern life, this teaching can be applied by focusing on efforts rather than on the results. For example, a person can work sincerely without being overly anxious about the outcomes. This reduces stress and increases the efficiency. Shri Krishna's message is that true freedom lies not in inactivity, but in inner detachment from karma phala. When the mind is free from attachment, even intense activity does not bind the soul. Thus, this shloka presents a powerful path to moksha, liberation, through disciplined action combined with inner renunciation, not outer renunciation, but inner renunciation. Next shloka. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti nibodh me samasainaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya ya param. Having attained perfection, one reaches Parabrahma. Hear from me briefly how one attains this supreme state of knowledge. Sri Krishna Bhagavan says in this shloka, the transitions from discussion of this action and duty to ultimate goal of spiritual life. There is a realization of Parabrahma, the absolute reality. Krishna Bhagavan states that a person who has attained Siddhi, that is perfection, through disciplined action and detachment, can ultimately realize the Parabrahma. This shows that continuity between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. The path of action, karma, when practiced correctly, leads to path of knowledge. You perform your karma with a Nishkam Seva, it will lead you to Jnana Yoga. Shri Krishna invites Arjuna to listen carefully as he explains how this highest state is attained. The phrase Samasena, briefly, suggests that Shri Krishna will summarize a profound and complex process in a concise manner. The term Nishtha Jnanasya Para, it refers to the highest state of knowledge, complete realization of truth, Nishtha Jnanasya Para. This is not merely an intellectual understanding, but direct experience with the divine. This shloka emphasizes that spiritual progress is a gradual progress. One begins by performing duties sincerely, develops detachment, purifies the mind, and eventually attains the knowledge. So the journey essentially starts with sakam karma. Then you get tired of asking every day something to the God by performing karma. You give up your demands. That develop detachment. And when you develop detachment, it purifies your mind. And when the mind is purified, it is the fertile ground for absorbing jnana. Shri Krishna teaching integrates action and knowledge, karma and jnana. It shows that these paths are not separate but interconnected. Right karma prepares the mind for right jnana. In practical terms, this shloka encourages patience and perseverance. Spiritual growth does not happen overnight. It requires consistent efforts, discipline and faith, Shraddha. The mention of Brahma here indicates ultimate goal of life. Realizing one's true nature as beyond body and mind is that Brahma. This realization brings freedom from our sufferings and the cycle of birth and death. Shri Krishna's assurance provides motivation and clarity to us. He promises to explain the path and guiding the seeker step by step towards the highest truth in the next few shlokas. Next shloka. Buddhya vishuddhya yukto dhritatmya anamniyam mecho shabdadin vishyan tyakva raggadvesho vidasya. Endowed with purified intellect, buddhya vishuddhaya, the mind with determination, dhrityatmanam, giving up sense objects, niyam abandoning attachment and aversion, raggadvesho vidasya, one progresses towards realization. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna begins the outline to outline the practical step for attaining the supreme state of knowledge, which he has described in the earlier shloka. The first requirement is buddhya vishuddhaya, purified intellect. A pure intellect is free from confusion, free from bias, free from ignorance. It is capable of discerning truth from illusion. Such purity is achieved through ethical living, through self-reflection, and through spiritual practice. Next, Gita emphasizes discipline, yogata, and determination, dhriti, the firmness of intellect. Spiritual progress requires consistent effort. It is not a one-day affair. The mind must be trained and guided with patience and firmness. The phrase Atmana Niyama is self-control. This includes regulating thoughts, regulating emotions, and impulses. Without such control, the mind becomes scattered and distracted all the time. Shri Krishna then advises giving up Shabdadin Vishya Tektva. This does not mean necessarily complete withdrawal from the world. Eyes hai to dekhengi na. Ears, they will hear the Shabda. But reducing dependence on sensory pleasures. Excessive attachment to sense objects, Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, it distracts the mind and creates restlessness. A crucial aspect of this teaching is the abandonment of parag. Parag means attachment, and dvesha, aversion. These two forces govern much of human behavior, rag and dvesh. We are constantly drawn towards what we like and repelled by something what we dislike. This creates imbalance and suffering. By translating these qualities of rag and dvesh, the mind becomes steady and peaceful. Such a mind is capable of deep understanding and realization. Shri Krishna's approach is very practical and systematic. He does not suggest sudden transformation, but gradual refinement of the mind and intellect. In modern life, this teaching can be applied by practicing mindfulness, sajagata, moderation, yukta ahara we learned in 6th Adhyaya also, moderation, and self-discipline. For example, limiting distractions, managing emotions, and maintaining focus on the higher goals of life. So this shloka highlights that spiritual realization is not accidental. It requires conscious efforts, discipline, and inner purification. Buddhya Vishuddhaya. Ultimately, Shri Krishna teaches that by purifying the intellect, controlling the mind, and transcending attachment, one prepares oneself for the realization of the highest truth. So this is the ground preparation for realization of truth. What else we need to do? Next shloka. Vivikta sevi lagvashi yatavakaya manasaha dhyani yoga paro nityam vairagyam samvashyataha. One who lives in solitude, ekantavas, eats lightly, controls speech, body and mind, is devoted to meditation and practices detachment, he progresses towards realization. So in this shloka, Lord Shri Krishna continues to describe the qualities and practices of his devotee who is progressing towards the spiritual realization. These are practical disciplines that help purify the mind and prepare it for higher knowledge. The first quality is Vivikta Sevi, seeking solitude. Solitude here does not necessarily mean physical isolation. Don't try to go and hide yourself in a cave or on the mountain, but creating space for introspection and self-awareness. That is Vivikta Sevi. Living in crowd also we can become Vivikta Sevi. If we create space for introspection and for self-awareness. In a world filled with distractions, moments of quiet reflection are essential for understanding oneself. We never try to understand ourselves through this self-reflections. Next is Lagbashi, moderation in eating. Food has a direct impact on body and mind. Overindulgence, it leads to lethargy, while moderation promotes clarity and balance. Shri Krishna emphasizes a disciplined lifestyle that supports spiritual growth. This topic has been greatly covered in 6th Adhyay, but this Adhyay, 18th Adhyay, is a summary of entire Gita, so this point has been emphasized here again. The phrase Yatava Kaya Manasaha refers to control over speech, body, and mind. Yatava Kaya Manasa. This is a comprehensive form of self-discipline. Controlling speech means avoiding unnecessary or harmful words. Controlling the body involves ethical actions, while controlling the mind requires managing thoughts and emotions. All three are important. Krishna then highlights Dhyana Yoga Para, devotion to meditation, which I keep emphasizing again and again. Today we did Dhyana also. Meditation is the key practice for calming the mind and turning attention inward. Very, very essential. Through regular meditation, one develops concentration and inner peace. Finally, the shloka emphasizes vairagya, detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, but freedom from excessive attachment to worldly objects and experiences. It allows a person to remain balanced in both success and failure if his mind has become vairagya minded. These practices are interconnected. Solitude, it supports meditation. Moderation in food, it enhances clarity. Self-control, it stabilizes the mind. And detachment prevents the distraction. So in modern life, these teachings are highly relevant. In today's busy schedule, one can practice moderation, mindfulness, and self-discipline. For example, setting aside time for meditation, being mindful of speech, and maintaining balance in lifestyle is living this shloka in our daily life. Shri Krishna's message is that spiritual growth requires continuous and conscious efforts and disciplined living. These practices gradually transform the mind, making it ready for realization of the highest truth. Now, having discussed up to this, let us try to find an answer. Let us try to decode the secret of happiness in life. These up to 52 slokas of this adhyaya we have studied. They contain remarkably practical philosophy of happiness. Shri Krishna gradually reveals that lasting happiness does not come from getting everything that we want. It comes from performing our duty, purifying our intentions, controlling the mind, and becoming free from excessive attachment to results. So, what is the secret of happiness? Modern life often gives us a simple formula. Get whatever you want and you will be happy. This is what the modern life says. Geeta says, no boss, you're wrong. It gives a deeper answer. Happiness is not the result of getting everything we desire. It is the result of becoming inwardly free. That is happiness. So, these shlokas of this adhyaya, what we have studied till now, till today in this session, it explains how this freedom can be achieved. First, do not run away from responsibilities. This we learned it from Shlok 1 to 11 of this Adhyaya. Arjuna asked Krishna about sannyas and tyag. Shri Krishna makes an important distinction. We need not abandon our responsibilities. Instead, we should abandon excessive attachment to the results of our action. A person who says, I'll be happy only if everything happens according to my wish, has already surrendered his happiness to circumstances. The wiser attitude will be, I will give my best to my duty, but I will not make my happiness dependent upon the outcome. This is the first secret of happiness. Second secret, perform your duty because it is right. This we learned in Shlok 9 and 10, 11. Krishna calls this Satvik Tyag. Do what needs to be done because it is your duty, not merely because it is pleasant or profitable. A person caring for elderly parents, a teacher teaching sincerely, or a professional doing honest work can experience deep satisfaction when the work itself becomes meaningful. Thus, duty performed with sincerity creates inner dignity. This is the second rule for happiness. Third, give up the ego of I am the sole doer. This we learned in Slok 13 to 18 of this Adhyay. Shri Krishna explains that every action has several contributing factors. Therefore, the thought I alone created it, I alone created my success, is an illusion. So, recognizing the contribution of circumstances, of people, of opportunities, of the resources, and the divine grace is reducing the ego. So, when ego decreases, the compassion, the comparison decreases, and envy decreases, anxiety decreases. This is another way to get true happiness, isn't it? Happiness naturally increases with this. Fourth rule is develop sattvic knowledge. This we learn from Shlok 20, 21, and 22. Sattvic knowledge sees everything underlying unity in all beings. When we constantly compare ourselves with others, their wealth, their status, their appearance, and achievements, we create dissatisfaction for ourselves. But when we begin to see every person as a different journey, different role, and different purpose of life, the comparison loses its power. Gita teaches us this to follow this path. This is a doorway to happiness, isn't it? Fifth factor, become a sattvic doer. This we learned in Shlok 23 to 28. An ideal person works with commitment. He works with enthusiasm. He works with discipline. He works with humility, namrata, and freedom from excessive attachment. Such a person is not emotionally destroyed by failure or intoxicated by success. There is an enormous secret of this is the enormous secret of happiness. What is the secret? Do not let success inflate you, or do not let failure define you. Sixth rule, develop sattvic intelligence, buddhi. This we learned in Slok 29 to 32. A clear buddhi intelligence knows what should be done and what should be avoided. Pavrittincha nivrittincha karya karya bhaya bhaye manna mokshancha yogati buddhissa partha sattvic. This look we have learned. Many unhappiness producing decisions come from confusing pleasure with happiness, desire with necessity, success with fulfillment. Spiritual intelligence helps us to distinguish between pleasure and happiness, between desire and necessity, between success and fulfillment. Next tool is develop sattvic determination, dhriti. This dhriti we learned in Shlok 33 to 35. Dhriti, the inner determination, allows us to remain committed what is right even when it is difficult. Firmness of intellect is dhriti. Meditation may sound a little difficult in the beginning. Exercise may sound a bit difficult in the beginning. Self-discipline, study, service, healthy habits may initially require great efforts, but they create deeper happiness. Short-term discomfort can produce long-term peace. Try doing meditation for a week, you will understand the secret of this happiness. Next is the ultimate secret God gives from Slok 46 to 52, what we are studying today. Shri Krishna gives perhaps the most practical teaching, Swakarmana Tamadhyarcha. This is the greatest tool of Bhagavad Gita. Nothing can be easier than this to attain moksha. Swakarmana Tamadhyarcha. What a great line this is. One can worship the divine through one's own work. Finish. Your profession, your family responsibilities, your service, and your daily duties can become worship when performed with sincerity and dedication. They will lead you to moksha. You are performing duty only, day-to-day duty. By gradually purifying the mind and controlling the senses, reducing attachment, giving up our ego, and cultivating inner quietness, one moves towards lasting peace. This is happiness. So the secret of happiness, what we have learned in this adhyaya so far, up to this 52nd slok, what we have covered today, right duty leads to right intention, Right intention is less ego. Less ego is less attachment. Less attachment is clear intelligence. Clear intelligence is self-discipline. Self-discipline leads us to inner purity. Inner purity gives us lasting happiness. So Gita therefore does not say change your circumstances and you will become happy. It teaches change your relationship with the circumstances. Then you will become free. The deepest happiness comes when we can say that I will do what is right with my whole heart without making my peace dependent on the results. I will offer my actions to the divine and accept what comes with equanimity. This is the secret of happiness according to Bhagavad-Gītā. Do your duty, purify your intentions, control your mind, reduce your ego, let go of excessive attachment, turn your work into worship, and find happiness within rather than constantly chasing the happiness outwards. This is the secret of finding happiness according to Bhagavad-Gītā that we are studying. Thank you so much for your patience. Now the forum is open for you to raise your questions. We'll discuss the remaining shlokas in the next two sessions.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for the enlightening session, which was full of enthusiasm and knowledge. Bhaiya, your knowledge, teaching will brighten our spiritual path. Thank you so much, Bhaiya. So we move on to the question answer session. If anyone has any question, just raise your hand and try to open your camera if possible. We will unmute you. So if any question, just raise your hand.
I think this batch of L4 does not have many sadhaks, so that's why the attendance in these sessions of 18th Adhyaya is not so great. Because
Yes,
parallelly
Bhaiya.
so many batches are running. In other L4, some other Adhyayas are going on.
Yes. KRM Bhaiya. Yeah. Yes, Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna, sir. Can you
Jai
hear
Shri
me?
Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya, boliye. Yes, please.
Sir, this is regarding 52 sloka, na? Dhyana Yoga Paravanityam. This daily we are doing dhyana, but as per the advice of our Guruji, but what happened is we are not getting the what you call continuity. टाइमली फॉलो करना है, ये सब थोड़ा सा तकलीफ हो रहा है. अर्ली मॉर्निंग 5 बजे उठ के करने के लिए बोल रहा है, फिर अगेन टाइम फॉलो करना है. Pardon?
I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Can you hear me?
What is the question?
This first 51 na Buddhya Visuddhya, then second one 52 Dhyana Yoga Paravanityam.
So what is the question?
First, that means we have to be in sattvic only. We have stopped non-vegetarian, doing sattvic karma only. But how to attain this? They are telling continue constant remembrance, always seva karo. Everything is telling like that. But time management nahi ho pa raha. Early morning उठ के ध्यान करना, again evening को ध्यान करना, ये सब चीज थोड़ा continuity पे थोड़ा तकलीफ हो रहा है आपको.
Yeah, that is
because disturbance is coming from outside, other
You
sides.
see, the thing is, if we make our routine very, very strict and we are binding ourselves to that strict routine, the mind, the body, senses will give up within 1 week. So don't try to bind yourself in a very strict schedule. Follow one at a time. If you are concentrating on dhyan, make that only the focus of your life in your daily routine. Don't focus on anything else for the time being. When you become perfect on dhyan and you develop true love for doing meditation every day, then focus on something else. Focus on dhyan first. So you want to get up at 5 o'clock or 5:30 or even 6 o'clock. It is okay, no problem. Sit into dhyan, and as we did dhyan on a couple of shlokas today, take the help of Bhagavad Gita shlokas and sit in meditation for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever time you can sit. You find a great change.
Daily we are doing 30 minutes, 40 minutes we are doing.
So first focus on your pranayam, on your inhale and exhaling of pranavayu. That stabilizes the mind, and then focus on the meaning of shloka and the discussions that we had. You can find it on YouTube to go deep through the meaning of the shlokas and
Thank you,
the meditational steps that we followed. So this practice will definitely take
Thank you.
one step ahead for us in the path of spirituality. Having understood what is dhyan and what are the benefits, then we go to the next step.
Thank you.
Whether it is namasmaran, daily chanting of Gita adhyayas, or doing some other sattvic activity. Do whatever, do one thing at a time. Shane Shane, God says in 6 adhyay. Do it slowly. Don't try to be in a hurry. God has a lot of patience. God says, why don't you have patience? Do everything slowly now. Don't try to jump on everything in one shot. Focus on dhyan only. All of us will focus on dhyan for next, say, 1 month. Then we'll discuss about other path of spirituality. If we follow this kind of thing, Shane Shane, then we can acquire every aspect of Gita that it teaches us. Gita has many means to achieve Paramatma. Let us not jump on all of them in one go. Let us go one by one, step by step, Shane Shane, Dhire Dhire.
Thank
Okay,
you.
any other
Thank you.
question, please?
Yes,
Harihara Bhaiya.
yes. Bhaiya, actually, Jai Shri Krishna. I wanted to
Yes.
have some clarification on these two things. One is Sabdadin Visayans Tektva, 51 sloko.
Yeah. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasagandha. So God has not given all the 5 sense objects. Shabda, Adi. That means
What
Shabda,
is meant by
etc. What we say, na?
Sabdadi, right?
Shabda Adi. Adi means etc. Shabdadin Vishyan Tektva. That means Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. All those 5 cannot be fitted in that shloka. So God has found a shortcut saying that Shabdadin Vishyan Tektva. So give up your attachment to these sense objects is the meaning of the Shabdadin Vishyan Tektva.
Sabda is sense organs.
Shabda is the sense object of ear. Shabda. Sparsha is the sense object of our skin.
Sabda is
Ears.
ear, I understand.
Rupa. Rupa is the sense object of our eyes. What we see is Rupa.
Right.
Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Rasa is the sense object of our tongue.
Right.
And Gandha is the sense object of our nose. So these are the
These
5
are-
sense objects of our 5 respective Jnanendriyas.
Sabdadi
God
is
says don't get attached to it. If you like to hear
yes.
something, don't just go on hearing it for indefinite time. Don't get attached to anything.
Again.
That is the meaning. Shabdadi Vishyan Tektva.
Yes. Sabdadi is 5 senses, right? Yes, 5 senses has to be left. Yes, Tektva,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then another meaning was Asakta Buddhis. Actually, I want little clarification on that Asakta Buddhis.
Asakta Buddhi means detached Buddhi. Detachment from sense of worship and detachment from the return reward expectations is Asakta Buddhi. Your intellect should drive you to these 2 great thoughts of Gita. Then our Buddhi becomes Asakta Buddhi or Vishuddha Buddhi when we detach ourselves from the doership, Kartatva Abhiman, and the expectation of return and reward, Karma Phala expectation.
Yes, somewhere I have read Asakta Buddhi means it is Paramananda, feeling of Paramananda.
That is a way of attaining Paramananda. Asakta Buddhi does not mean Paramananda, but it is a way to attain Paramananda, Asakta Buddhi. If you remain detached, then there is a pathway to attaining Paramananda.
Right, Bhaiya. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ashutosh Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yes.
Yes.
Sir, one thing is that in that sloka number 51, what is that Vidasya? Vidasya cha. And in the 52, that is Lagvashi. Vivitasya Lagvashi. Kindly clarify.
Lagvasya means moderate in eating. Eat,
Achha.
but don't eat too much. Otherwise, you cannot sit for meditation, You will start sleeping if you eat too
So
much.
this is with relation to meditation only. Vivitasya means
This is an extension of the shloka that we learned in 6th adhyay. युक्त आहार विहारस्य युक्त चेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. So the same principle God is telling here, that you remain moderately, moderation is the key of life. While eating, while sleeping, while awakening, everything is moderation, should be in moderation. You should play also in moderation.
Yeah,
But that sadhana is not to be done for 24 hours a day. God doesn't expect that we should take God's name for all 24 hours a day. He said, Yukta ahar viharasya. वो भी करो, खेलो भी, कूदो भी, मनोरंजन करो. So everything you should do it, but in moderation. That is the
What is
yoga.
that? Vivikta Sevi, what is that?
Huh?
Vivikta Sevi.
Vivikta Sevi. Vivikta Sevi is ekantavas. Learn to remain in ekantavas. That means try to start loving your own company. Don't feel lonely when you are alone. Try to love your company. That gives an opportunity to look inward, to look inside you. Normally, when you are occupied with different members of family or different family, friends, society, you don't find time to look within yourselves. So God says, find some time for yourself, look within yourself. That is the moment of Vivikta Sevi. When we start looking inward, that is Vivikta Sevi, Ekantavas. Me and my company, me and myself.
Yes,
that is the only company I have.
Acha, Ragodvesho Vidasya cha. What is Vidasya cha?
That means to give up, to get rid of Rag and Dvesh. Rag is attachment, Dvesh is hatred. To get rid of that, Raga Dvesha Vidasya cha.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, please?
I think no more question bhi hai.
Okay, so let us take Pratana then, ending prayer.
Thank you once again, Bhaiyaji, for wonderful question answer session. Whatever you have taught and explained us beautifully will remain with us and help in our daily lives. So now we move on to the session for the prayer. Now is the time to offer prayer once again in the lotus feet of Shri Hari. I would like to invite Malti Mehul Didi. She is from Jamnagar, Gujarat. She is a housewife, mechanical engineer. Her passion is in singing and gardening, giving seva as core trainer in level 1. Didi joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2024. Jai Shri Krishna Didi, you are welcome for the prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया स्टार्ट करते हैं योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Didi, for a melodious prayer. Now, we would like to request all to join for a Mass Hanuman Chalisa. Before Hanuman Chalisa, me, Dinesh Sharma Kharal, today Vivechan session anchor, would like to thank each and every sadhak for attending today a knowledgeable session. And I would like to thank very vigilant and superb technical team, which was led by Surekha Mittal Didi. Without them, the session would not have been success. Thank you so much, Surekha Didi. Thank you for everything. So we will move on for Hanuman Chalisa. So I would like everyone should join for this Mass Hanuman Chalisa session. Thank you so much, Vikas Bhaiya. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Dinesh Bhaiya, thank you.
Jai Shri Krishna.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान विद्वान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपी सति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।